The following is a Simpronto media production.
Leaders, real life leaders.
Hey guys, this episode is from the Grow and Scale Now Summit, where top entrepreneurs and leaders are going to help you take your business to the next level. To get your free ticket, go to growandscalenow.com. Now to the episode.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. And we have Thanh Pham on, and he is with Asian Efficiency. And today we're talking about how to make yourself more efficient, how to increase your productivity. And so we're so excited to have Thanh on with us. Thanh, tell listeners a little bit about yourself before we jump right in.
Yeah, thank you, Chantel, for having me today. So I'm the founder of Asian Efficiency. We started back in 2011, where we help people become more productive at work and in life. And I used to be somebody who was not efficient, not productive at all. And so I kind of had to study for myself how to be productive. And I basically started a blog sharing some of the things that I learned over time. And then accidentally, it turned into a productivity training business that it is today. So almost a decade later, we're still here and we're helping people all over the world become more productive and efficient. And that's my main passion. And I'm super passionate about this topic and super excited to share some of the things I've learned along the way from working with thousands of clients all over the world here and to help all the entrepreneurs and people who are excited about today's topic.
Yeah, and I saw on your website, it was really funny. You said, don't let the name fool you. This website is for anyone interested in time management and productivity, not just for Asians, right?
Yeah, a lot of people, when they first come to us, they think, oh, is this only for Asian people? And I'm like, no, this is for everybody. It just started off as a joke. Me and my friend were both Asian at the time, and somebody said, and noticed how productive we were when we were working together. And they said, oh, that's because you're Asian. It's Asian Efficiency. And we said, oh, that's a funny name. We should register that domain name. And we just started blogging about it and kind of took a life of its own from there.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. Well, let's talk a little bit. One of the things I love that we talked about earlier was, before we started recording, was about decision-making guidelines. So one of the things I think people have a hard time doing is figuring out, how do you allow other people to let them make decisions for you? So like, I have a girl that's been with me now for 11 or 12 years, kind of from the very beginning. And literally, she is 99% of the decisions that she makes, I'm like, I would have made the exact same one. I would have made the exact same one. So what are some of the guidelines people need to implement for their team members to allow them to make decisions?
One of the things I've seen with entrepreneurs and business owners is that, like your story, they think that they have to spend all this time and all these years working with the same person before they feel comfortable delegating tasks to them or feel like that they can make decisions on their behalf. And you can actually shorten that process very quickly if you can sort of codify how you make certain decisions. And a lot of people never think about that. They just think that they just have to spend a lot of time with a person so that they, over time, kind of get it of how you think and how you operate and how you make certain decisions. When in fact, we can actually codify a lot of things that you do. So a really good book on this topic is called Work the System by Sam Carpenter. It's one of my favorite books on business systems and efficiency, especially for entrepreneurs. And one of the things he talks about is this idea called operating principles. And the name is kind of interesting and funny, but I think a simpler version that my friend Tim Francis from Grid Assistant came up with is called decision-making guidelines. Right? So how do you create decision-making guidelines so that everybody in your company or in your team can make decisions on your behalf? And so you, as the business owner, have to sit down and think, okay, how do I make decisions around certain topics? Or how do I make decisions in general? Let's write that down and then fine-tune it over time. Because the first time you write stuff down, it's not going to be perfect and it's going to be that way. But over time, you're going to fine-tune it. So to give an example, when it comes to budgets or money, the way I have a guideline or decision-making guideline in place in my company is, if it costs less than $200, just pay for it and you'll be reimbursed for it, no questions asked, right? So if an employee or a team member, for example, if their keyboard breaks down or their mouse stopped working or their podcast mic stopped working, instead of coming to me and saying, hey, Tan, can I buy a new mouse for $40? right? Which is more workload for me to make a decision and all that. They can just buy it on their own, and then they'll be automatically reimbursed for it, no questions asked. So it facilitates a lot of speed that way because there's no questions that need to be asked or waiting for approval. Right.
Hey guys, I want to take a minute real quick to tell you about this retreat that I'm putting together. It's going to be just 10 lucky people that I'm going to select, and we are going to stay in a 5-star resort in Miami, and it's going to be pamper time. But the most important thing, I'm going to open up my books. I'm going to show you everything. You're going to leave there with my Word docs. You're going to leave with a USB drive with all the information that I've possibly done, every system in place. A lot of times you go to these conferences, you get all jazzed up, but you don't walk away with anything. You're going to walk away with this retreat with tons of systems. Go to chantelray.com/retreat to learn more.
Calling all entrepreneurs, leaders, and business owners. Are you looking to grow and scale your business to help more people, increase your profits, and build the business of your dreams? Then you need to attend the Grow and Scale Now Summit, a free virtual event where you can learn from top leaders and thinkers who have grown and scaled their businesses by the millions. Unlock your potential and discover the secrets to take your business to the next level. Click the link in the show notes to claim your free ticket.
What makes it where you say, kind of like if you thinking in your mind is that if they're willing to buy it, right, on their own credit card, and that it means that much to them to buy it, number one. And number two, like if it was like a $2,000 expense, maybe they'd be like, I don't really want to spend $2,000, but I'll spend $40 on a mouse. I just want to get the logic behind what you were thinking when you implemented that policy.
Yeah, so it's more about how I can speed up decisions rather than how much money they're willing to spend on their own. And so for me, if I can solve a problem with $200 or less, I don't have to necessarily make that decision. I just let other people make that decision, and we'll just pay for it. And we can, So
is the guideline $200 or less?
Yes. For me, it is. Yeah. Now, for your company, especially if you're starting off, it may be a little smaller. It could be like $25 or $50. But even then, when you introduce that, somebody can make a lot of decisions on their own and speed up a lot of processes that way without, bogging you down if you have to make that certain decision. And so that's just a guideline that we have in place. And so I'm comfortable in my own company to spend $200 without kind of thinking about it. But it all depends, where you are in your business and so on. And so it's just to really speed up the process. And to give you another example, we have a lot of discussions with team members in meetings, and somebody might say, well, I think this is the best solution, or this is the better solution. Everybody starts sharing ideas of what we should do. And one of the decision-making guidelines we have is the simplest solution is the best solution. So every time we have a meeting and we can't come to a final conclusion what direction we should go, we always go back to this idea that the simplest solution is the best solution. And every time we bring that up, everybody goes, okay, this is the simplest solution. Let's go with that. And then we can just kind of steamroll from there. And so hopefully everybody that's listening and watching can see that if you just incorporate 2, 3, maybe even 5 decision-making guidelines of how you make decisions, you allow and empower other people to make the right decisions on your behalf.
Hope you enjoyed this episode from the Grow and Scale Now Summit. Again, you can get your free ticket now at growandscalenow.com. Thanks for listening to this episode of Real Life Leadership. If you'd like to get the show notes or access more resources, log on to reallifeleaders.com/podcast to get the show notes from this episode and any other resources we might have mentioned. And also, we'd love to hear from you. Be sure to review or rate this podcast on Apple Podcasts to help spread the word. And if you have any leadership questions you want answered, email podcast@reallifeleaders.com.